Hello and welcome, I'm Tim and this is TimBatSea, and we are going down the Delaware Memorial Bridge up there, and we've got about 20 to 25 knots of wind coming this way, and that's not going to be an issue because we've got a loaded barge right now, and we got to take the barge into Wilmington, not North Carolina, Wilmington, Delaware. So let me show you this on the chart here. We're here, we're going to come up here and go in here, but we've got a ton of tide. The current is flowing in really hard here, and if we come in and square off and go like this, we'll fall down on this buoy. If we went up and turned around and came over like that and went this way, we'd have lateral movement or fall us in that way. So my plan is going to be to come here, come up like this, get real close to this buoy, and then start aiming towards this buoy over here, still keeping a lot of speed on and getting in and rounding up like that. By the time I'm in here, I hope to be out of that current, and then we'll go to a ship over here. I believe it's an ATV, a great big ATV. But that's what we have, that's what the plan is right now. And hopefully we'll get over there, and hopefully everything will be just fine. Okay, so a little bit further up here, you can see this green buoy on my right-hand side, and then the red buoy up there. That's kind of odd. You don't usually see that. You usually see the same colors on the same side. There's a red buoy over here too, but you see this green one and then that red one. And the reason why is that red one is for traffic coming out, and the green one is for traffic going this way. Remember, here in the North America, we're a buoyage system B or Bravo, so that means red right return. So since while we're going this way, we're headed for C, we keep the red on the port side, and when we go in, like into Wilmington, it'll be like we're returning from the sea, so we'll keep red on the right on that one. Sounds a little confusing, but it certainly makes sense when you look at it. The good news is that my speed is increasing, and that means that I'm fighting less and less tide all the time. That's a good thing. And so I think it's because the area over here has gotten bigger, and the current speeds up when it comes into a choke point. Now, to have power, I'm reducing a little bit of my power in the engines right now, so that when I make this turn, if I get into trouble, I'll have more power to use to hopefully get out of trouble. But I don't expect to have any problems. I think everything's going to be fine. Sometimes there's a big barge at the end of this dock over here, and nothing's over there. So if we end up too far that way, we'll have a little extra room over there. One thing that will complicate this move is that when we get all the way into where we're going, we're going to have to turn around. And it gets a little tight in there. And so we'll have to figure that out. But tankermen usually like to be what we call heads and heads with the ship. In other words, the bow of the barge facing the bow of the ship. We don't always have to do that, but that'll make sense for this one. And also, when it's time to go, you can simply just let the lines go and drive away. You don't have to turn it around. And it's been really windy lately, and it's much easier maneuvering with a I don't know if it's easier. It's more predictable maneuvering with a loaded barge in the wind than it is with a light barge. So we can spin it around, do our thing while it's loaded. Then when it pumps off, hopefully we won't have to spin it around, just drive it away, because the wind's going to be coming this way like that. You can see a bunch of seagulls up here, even though we're quite a ways away from the sea. What you don't see is right over here is a great big landfill. Seagulls is rats of the sea. They're just scavengers. They don't care if they eat the garbage at a seaside town or at a landfill all the way up the Delaware River. All right, so we're coming up to our last buoy here. Going to start turning just a little bit, 10 degrees. Got about 5.6 knots I'm making right now. Now I'm giving about 20 degrees. She's starting to come around. Everything's looking good. I want to give a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit more. I don't want to go too much. Once the thing starts turning, remember, energy in means energy out the other side. All right. Once I get into this dock, the effects of the flood tide should be reduced. And you can see there is very little bit of tide showing on that buoy right there at all. So I think everything's going to be fine. Now I'm going to put it hard right, all the way over, rudder hard over, doing 5.6 coming around the corner. Wind's gusting up to 29 right now. Holding 29 steady. And you'll see a banana ship, and then a box boat, a container ship, and then our big ATV is the last one there. So I think, looking at this, my plan, I know that there's water next to the boats, but I don't know how much water is on the other side if I run into trouble when I go to... Go ahead.
Hey Cap, if you're in contact with this tug, could you check and see if the connection is on the barge or if it's actually on the boat?
I believe it's on the barge because we did its sister ship the other day.
Okay, I do know there's two of them, and I think one of them is on the barge and one is on the boat. That's why I was wondering.
All right, I'll try to raise them. I don't know if I can get them or not, but I'll try it.
Yeah, no worries. I just kind of want to just confirm before we make the approach, for whichever the best tie-up is. That's all.
Roger that. All right, so now we've made it around the corner. We're about dead center in this channel here. Give a little bit of left wheel to straighten it up. Now bring it back to zero. And so my idea was that I would go up in between the second ship and the third, the ATV, and do a clockwise turn, keeping my propellers in the good water next to the ship and then backing down alongside it. But let's find out if we can raise these guys. OSG Horizon, Tug Kings Point.
Hey, good morning, Horizon.
Good morning. We're just headed your way right now, just inside the channel here, and Tankerman wanted me to ask if your connection is on the barge or on the tug.
Connection's going to be on the barge, and we'll be working 78 Alpha if you want to switch over to there.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much. On the 30. All right, Chief, you on this one?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so you could tell the tankerman the connection is on the barge. I'm going to be going up there doing a clockwise turn and backing down onto it. So we'll be going our starboard side too, heads and heads. And they want us on channel 78. So let's switch over to 78, all right?
78, starboard, side 2.
Roger. All right. Well, I don't have to explain that to you guys. You know what's going on. All right. One thing I'm going to do now is secure the radar. Got you, Lima Charlie there, Chiefy.
Are you ready for me now?
Yeah. And if I don't slow down, I'll be up to them in 6 minutes. But I still have to turn around too. But might need your help. I think we'll be all right. Go out there in 5 minutes.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's really, really cold. 31, 32. Holding at 30 now. So the wind is blowing, but once again, being a loaded barge, that will have an effect on us, but not nearly as much as it would when the barge is light. So once those guys get out there, I'll have them put the Yokohamas, the Fenders, down on the starboard side, because we're going to go up there and spin around and back down onto it. Let me just verify that there's no boom there. Nope, just a shadow. Sometimes they have a boom, an oil boom, that goes around a tank vessel like that, and that would be a disaster for us. So just wanted to verify that. Not to worry. Yeah, holding at 33 knots solid right now. Gets up over 30, wind starts having an effect on a loaded barge. Put my other radio back on our channel in case he calls us again. Just saw him go out of the engine room into his house. On the 30, you on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it is going to be on the barge. We are going to be starboard side too. And we're working channel 78. They want us to work 78 because they're going to be on that one.
Oh, okay, copy that. Switch to 78.
Very good. Put that back to 16. We worked 3 different radios up here. One for 13 for local traffic, one for 16 for everybody that's not local, and then a house channel, or a channel that we work with. All right, I'm doing 6.4 now because I'm not fighting the tide, so I'm bringing it right back. It's a loaded barge. It's going to carry its weight even into the wind a little bit. So I bring it right back to clutch and bleed some speed off here. Remember, being that we are on a 3000 not a 4200, this open wheel boat doesn't stop as well as the 4200s do. Stopping is a much bigger problem when you get a loaded barge than it is when you're running light tug or a light barge. So what I'm concerned about is that I think there's water for us to turn around there, but being that the barge is probably drawn about, I don't know, 5 feet in the bow, something like that. It's a lot better than the 13 or 14 feet we'd be drawn in the stern. So in the event that we see any mud over there or anything like that, we'd rather have 10 feet of extra insurance. So that's why I'm going to be doing this turn clockwise. Okay, we're down to 4.1 knots. I'm going to put them back in clutch here. I was all stopped before, so I got 2 engines in clutch. Maybe crank it up just a little bit more because speed's bleeding off pretty well. And I'm trying to aim over for that bow because the more I can get over there, one thing that it's going to be better when I turn is what I'm really getting at. One thing that you notice between the 4200s and the 3000s is that the 4200s, even though they look almost identical and they're just a little bit bigger, they weigh a lot more. Instead of they have like twice the fuel, 80, 90,000 gallons of fuel versus 45,000 gallons of fuel or something like that, and a lot more steel, and then the quart nozzles and all that sort of stuff, stronger engines. So what happens is when you go to turn a 4200, I could pull that bow right around. But with this, the bow will come over, but most of my turning will be from the stern moving the other way. Okay, so now we're at 3.8. I've just gone all stop again. I'm just letting it slow down and get ready for my turn here. Like I say, I'm trying to get in. I'm got about 15 degrees of left rudder here. And actually, I'm going to put it hard left right now because I'm not in gear. When I'm not in gear, the only thing that's going by the rudder is the water that's going by, that's, it's not being pushed by the propeller. All right, down to 3.3 knots. Chief is all bundled up out there. Oh, looks like Luke's coming in. Good morning, Luke. Making a video here. You hear me talking to myself, you know why. Okay, so since that's not really doing anything at all, I'm going to put my rudder back to midship and actually start. I'm going to bring it all the way over. Since it wasn't doing anything that way, it's probably not going to do anything this way either. So rudder's going hard right, and I'm going to start my turn because I'm worried about I don't want to land on the ship. I want to give myself as much room as I can to turn around here. But if the stern of the tug goes that way, that's okay as long as I don't hit the hit the unit that we're getting on. So now we're doing a right-hand twist. We're down to 2.5 knots. And the stern of the tug is just getting by the ship over here. So this is going to be probably where I have the most amount of room to turn. So the rudder's hard right. I've got my port engine in gear, and my starboard engine is all stop right now because I still want to close. I don't want to have to back down forever. Now they're putting the Yokohamas down, the Fenders over there. One thing I got to watch out for, I'm going to start backing now, is that if I do this wrong, the stern will continue over and I'll get over by the unit that we're going to. And I don't want to do that if I'm at 90 degrees. I want to do that when I'm parallel with it. So Luke, can you keep an eye on that stern for me and count that down as we get over there? And that's the stern getting to the dock is what he's going to be watching. Well, I'm going to be trying to be aware of how much I'm laterally moving that way towards the unit. 50 wide, good deal. So that means I'm going to stop I'm going to stop my twist. I'm just going to come ahead with two engines right now.
40.
Okay, 40. So I'm going to ease my rudder down to 20 degrees because I need to get off of the dock here. 30. Now I'm going to put my rudder in midship so I drive straight away from the dock. Opening up now, which is good. So now I'm going to go all stop with my starboard engine, put the rudder back hard all the way over to the starboard. And I got to watch. Luke's going to tell me when he thinks that the stern is clear of the unit that we're going to, because I don't want to smack that unit. That would be a really bad thing. Now, I don't want to. I've got 2.7 knots of speed, which is a little going faster than I really want to go right now. So I'm all stopped. The rudder's hard over, and we're just going to go. How's it? You think it's looking good? Luke says it's looking good, so we'll adjust if we need to. And
You probably can start turning more if you wanted to.
all right, good deal. So I'm going to start backing a little bit to stop my. I don't want to drive into that bad water ahead of us.
Start dropping even with the flat.
All right. Even with the flat, it means that's where we're going to end up with the ship. So that's good. So, and I'm still moving ahead at 1.8 knots. So I got to back really hard on my starboard engine and come ahead with my port engine. Try to keep that rotation moving. And what's nice about this, if Luke says I start falling on the ship, I can just ease up on my astern engine and we'll start sliding away from it. I'm also going to zoom in on my chart plotter and keep an eye on my predictor line. Right now my predictor line is going exactly that way, which is just what we want it to do. Not ahead or not back. So I ease back, let everything go. Everything's still looking good back there, Luke?
Yeah, I just wouldn't come back anymore.
Don't come back anymore. All right, so that means I'm going to watch my predictor line and make sure that the predictor line doesn't come this way anymore. It comes that way or that way.
You're going to shape up to be like 10 feet off.
All right, beautiful. Now right here is the hardest part for me because I'm fighting the temptation. I want to give it a lot of power and snap this thing over and be done with this. But this is where we got to be patient. Just wait it out. Still looking good, Luke?
Yeah.
Moving away from it a little bit? Not really?
You're still not on that flat yet, so it's kind of hard to
Okay, understood.
You're 10 wide right now.
Very good.
Just give you distance.
Yep. So once again, we're doing a right-hand twist, port engine ahead, starboard engine astern, hard right rudder. Watching that predictor line. The predictor line's off about 10, 20 degrees away from the unit that we're going to. Says we get 10 feet behind us. Let me just show you what you're looking at here. You're looking at Luke. Luke's looking at that, and he's looking at the stern of the tug. So I don't really know what else you can see here, so I'm just going to put this over like this.
You're opening on it.
Okay, so I'm opening on it, so I'm going to start backing harder than I'm coming ahead. With that comes the cavitation. The good news is that we've gone more than our 90 degrees, so that any concern I had of bad water back there ahead of us is now it's going to get better and better all the time. And I can see I didn't do any disturbance up there at all, so I don't think I even came close to the edge of the channel up there. Still looking good, Luke?
Still looking good.
All right, good deal.
About 15 feet back there.
15 feet. Hey, do you mind holding this or strapping that somewhere if people can see? All right, good deal. So now what I'm going to be doing is I just stopped my head engine and I'm just backing because he says we're at 15 feet. We're still rotating and I'm watching my predictor line and it's going to the other shore. So I want to start. Okay, now I've got the predictor line going right up the channel. So I start twisting again.
20 wide back there.
20 wide back, so I can actually make a little movement towards the ship. One thing I got to watch out for is because I don't want to get the bow moving so fast that I'll have to straighten it out. Everything good?
15.
15. So come ahead a little bit. And I'll back a little harder now.
Back to 20.
Back to 20, all right, good deal. Back a little harder. I'll reduce my head engine. Head engine is in clutch. Back end engine's about half right now.
You're holding at 20.
Holding at 20, beautiful. I'd say we're about 40 degrees more to go. Like I say, what I'm a little concerned about is that I need to slow everything down because the bow is kind of moving over. So I'm going to go all stop. He's going to keep an eye on things over there. And what I'm doing is letting the bow slow down because I can counteract the bow, but by doing that, it'll drive the stern into the unit too. How we doing back there?
Still got 20.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's great. Moving backwards at about 0.5 knots. And the tug has definitely got coverage on the flat up here on the ship, but the first Yokohama doesn't. Definitely the last Yokohama doesn't either. So we are sliding towards the ship all the time with the bow. I'm going to back with both engines now. I'm going to put my rudder amidship just so I can counter it. If I have to counter, I can.
15 back there.
15 back here. All right. All right. So now, in order to do this, I need to put the rudder back hard right and do a right twist, which is going to speed up the bow, but it's going to slow. It's going to slow down the stern. I mean, the stern's going to lift away from the ship. But if I can get that Yokohama on the ship, on the ATV, I'll be able to lean up against it, because that bow is just coming and can't stop it. Okay, now we're still at 15?
Yep. 15, 10.
All right.
Gotta hold it.
Okay, so come over here, Luke. Look right down here and see what you see there. Because I think what we're going to do is end up landing on that first fender. But I got to make sure I don't wrap around.
Yeah, that's your closest point.
Right. Okay. So right now I got to do a little, not damage control, but there we go. All right. Okay. Now the bow's coming over. I got to set the rudder while it's coming over. I got to set the rudder hard.
Need to back down some. Wrap the bow around this, the rake of this barge. We're going to touch down here in about 5 feet, just a little forward of the stern.
All right. Okay. So there we touched. Now I got to
Touch down, and we just need to back up so we don't wrap around the front of the barge.
Yep, very good. Okay, so now we stopped it from rolling around the bow, and now we can just back right up. At least that's the hope. So now I put it the rudder midship, and we look out the window to see how we're doing. We're doing a couple feet over there. I watched the mast on the barge to see if it's going one way or the other. I'm just backing on my port engine right now, just so that if anything, it will hold us off a little bit. How we doing? How we doing? Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good.
Okay, stern fender's about to touch up again.
All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of right twist. Just lift that stern off a little bit. Now I go all stop. I'm still backing, but I go all stop with the forward engine. Okay, looks like, I guess we're pretty much flat. All right, good deal. So now I'm all stopped and I'm just coasting backwards. I got to make sure that I don't catch that last Yokohama that's ahead of the Chief. Chief, that last Yokohama's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, it'll be fine. You're about 5 wide off the bow with your, or off the barge with your bow.
All right. It's better than I expected. All right, so once again, we're putting the rudder midship, and I'm backing on my starboard engine. Sliding along here. Guys are up on the, I keep saying ship because this is a massive ATV. They're up there ready, so that's where I want to get. I think I can go all stop and just coast at this point. They've put a line over the edge, and I believe that line is telling them where they want the hose. So they're showing us where that is.
Alright, you're holding 2 or 3 foot off on your bow. You're just now touching the fender on the stern.
All right, good deal. Looks like they got a line where they wanted the spot to be.
So you're looking on the sterns, get a little sideways, and we can take a little pressure off of it, that'd be good.
All right. All right, and I do that by...
we just put a little gap between us and the barge.
Very good. So I just did a little twist there to lift that off. Now we're just still sliding back. I would guesstimate that we got about
40 feet back out.
There we go, about 40 feet back. 40 feet, here we go. All right, and now the wind is coming down the channel, so it's coming in back of us, but it's blowing us a little bit onto the unit here, and that's good. So that's going to be my assist tug. Okay, we're doing 0.5 backwards. I go all stop, and I'm just going to let it coast. Might have to lift that stern out a little bit. There we go. Back down a little bit more. Probably about 20 more feet, I think. And go all stop.
Still got a 2 foot gap on the stern, looking good.
All right, they just sent the heaving line to the bow. I imagine Tankerman probably wants me to stop probably another 5 feet, right?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. So now I look on the side of the ship here, count down about 5 feet. All right. I'll put one engine in gear just ahead to slow it down a little bit. And it looks like the bow is off a little bit, but that's okay. Those guys up on the ship are hauling up the first line. We're still creeping back, which if they're putting that line up, they're probably going to want to drive into it. So if I go too far back, that's good. I can drive into that line. Okay, because that bow is off, I'm going to go hard right and do a right-hand twist. It's going to lift the stern off, but it will get the bow in, and that's more important right now because that's what they're tying up. Okay, it's starting to, I go all stop, it's starting to fall in. Looks like they got a line on there. They'll have me drive into that, hopefully.
First line's made off if you want to look into it.
All right, good deal. Here we go. So now I put my rudder amidship. Once that line comes in tight, it'll pull the bow in. So I got to give about 10 degrees of left rudder to keep the stern in. And you know what? The stern has come out about 5 feet, so I'm going to do a left-hand twist as we come into that line. Looks like that line is coming tight, so I can go all stop on my back end engine, not do a twist, but just drive ahead into it. I got hard left wheel. Now we're coming into the side of the ship, so I ease the wheel, ease the rudder down to about 10 degrees. And they're not checking the spot, so I think...
Alright, that line's just starting to catch up.
Very good. So I think we're there. And the battery didn't run out. Luke, outstanding job. Well, look at that. Still got 19% to go. Anyway, that's it. They're going to tie it up. Not a whole lot to see for that. Freezing cold over here. Stern's coming off. Give it 20 degrees of wheel. That'll hold it in a little bit better. But from the wheelhouse, it's me and Luke. Say hi to Luke. And somebody out there, I haven't told Luke this yet. Somebody sent us $25, so Luke and I will be definitely raising a libation in your honor later on when we get off of work. Not get off of work, get off the boat. Airport, way home, that sort of thing. You guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, hit like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. In fact, this is what Dr. Sal says.
And with that, if you enjoyed the video, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, give it a big thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and it helps get this video out. And if you can, support the page. How do you do that? You hit the super thanks button down below or head on over to Patreon where you can become a monthly and yearly subscriber.
If you're not familiar with Dr. Sal Magliano, definitely check out his channel. What's happening with shipping, or what's going on with shipping. It's an amazing channel. He's a great guy, and you guys should definitely check it out. I'll put a link in over here, and there'll be links in the description of the video if you care to join our Patreon crew. And if you want to help me out, you can check out SV Paquita too. Thank you so much. Be safe. Take care, and I'll see you on the next.